Hello, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to build our login page. So last time in our previous video we have built our register page, so you can see how it look like. So this is what we have built last time. So now we are going to build our login page, and we'll be using the same process. We'll be using an HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and Firebase. So as you can see, basically is the way it will look like. So for those of you who hasn't watched our previous videos, so I will recommend you to go and watch it, and you can learn from it. And also don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you can get video like this and more tutorial. Thank you. So now let's go back to our code. Okay guys, now we are back in our Visual Studio, and first of all what you are going to do, you are going to open another file, which will create another file, will be the login.html. so that is it. I think okay, so that is it. And inside our login we set our HTML environment, so we will do it like this, and we just change the title. The title now will be login, and we will just, as usual, we connect our CSS file. Okay, so we just create our style.css, and just from there we are going to do what we are going to also we'll be using our font ensemble for it. So to get that one, you just go to our Google and you hit font ensemble, and we'll be using just to go 3 school. We'll be using the font ensemble 3 school. Okay, so we just click on it to just go fast forward. So we just copy this one, just copy the link at the top, you copy, and we just paste it here. So just right after that we have finished with our head section, so we are just going to the body now, and inside the body we will be opening a section. We create a section. The section will be having an ID of nav bar, because we are going to build a nav bar. So inside our nav bar we will be having an h2 class title, and we'll be putting our farm inside. And because we are going to change the color of the text, we are going to use the span id title, and you'll be closing by putting the text inside. So that is it. And what's next? What you are going to do next is we are going to put another div. Yes, we'll be hitting another div, and the div will be having a class of admin, and we close it. And inside that div we'll be having an icon, which will be the user icon, which will be var user circle think no. Oh, that is it. And we close our, so we just run our server and see how it look like. So that is it. You can see that you have our icon, you have our text at the top here. So basically that is it. So let me close some of our so that is it. So we are having, you can see that we are having our farm tech here and the icon down. So the next thing we are going to do now, we are going to put a button so that when you click on that button, it can direct us to the administrator page. So the button will be having type button, and we'll be having an ID, and that ID will be btn add. We close it and we'll be having inside, we tap administrator. So that is it. And right after that, we'll be having another section. This first section will be where we'll be putting our input. So let me run my server on the already made. Okay, so guys, you can see here that that is what we are going to build, and you can see how our farm tech look like, and you can see we have here, we have the user icon, and we have our administrator button, and we have also here, we have our user, our input user, and the password. We have our input user and our input password. So it's this section we are going to design, we are going to build now. And you have our submit button and create a new account. So that is what we are going to do now. So let's go back to our code, and right there we'll be creating the next section, and that section will be class login. So that is it, and we are going to do another div, class log. We just put log in container. So we just, and inside we'll be having a div class. We just give to class form, and we close it, and we'll be having our input type text, and it will be having a name, but it's not necessary, so we just move the name. We'll be having an ID user input, and we'll be having a place holder, your user name. So that is it, and we copy and paste and make some few changes to it. So we just copy and paste it. So here we just change the type to password, and the ID now will be also passed in. It will be passed in, not we having passed in, and you'll be having your password too. So it will be password. So your password. So that is it, guys, for the input. And we are going now to put the button. And the button, we'll be putting button, and we'll be giving to the button an ID. That ID will be putting some btn, and now we'll be putting a submit, tapping submit here. So that is it, and the next thing we are going to do now, we are going to set another div class, and that div class will be holding a little text. We'll be typing inside that div class, create a new account. So we'll be that div class will be holding will be giving to the class a new account, and new account, and we'll be closing it. When we close it, inside that div account we'll be having a h, an anchor tag, and that anchor tag will be giving the link of the register.html to it, and we close it. When we close it, after we have create a new account. So after typing that one, let's see how it look like. So okay, so you can see how it look like now. So now I think that we are almost done with our HTML part. Okay guys, now we are going to style our HTML document. So from there we are going to put 1 minute. So we are going to style, as I said, we are going to style our CSS, our HTML document. So we are going to work on our navbar first. So the navbar will be having a display flash, and we'll be having a line item center, and we'll be having justify content center too, and we'll be having justify content space between. So that is it. And the next thing we are going to do now, we are going to hit take our title. So the title will be having a font size of 17 ps, and now we'll be having a padding top. The padding top will be 1 ps, and now we'll be having a font family. The font family will be sans serif. So now we are going to take our ID title. We go to the first one was the class, and now we'll be giving a color of green yellow, and right after that we'll be taking our admin, the admin section. So the admin will be having, in the div class admin will be having a color green, padding top 1 ps, and we'll be having a padding right 3 ps, and we'll be having a display flex, and we'll be having flex direction. The flex direction will be colon. Guys, why am I going fast on the CSS is because this tutorial is not about the CSS. We are not going to do a CSS tutorial, is why I'm going very fast about it. And this tutorial is more how can I say how to use the JavaScript and the Firebase to have a good functionality for our pharmacy application. Is why I'm running very fast on the CSS. So right after the flex direction, we'll be having text line center, and do justify content flex end, and we will be having the next thing we are going to do now is btn I'm going to take the BTN add, and we'll be giving a font family to it. The font family will be sans serif, and we'll be having a padding top. The padding top will be we won't be having a padding top, rather we'll be having a padding which will be 5 ps, and we'll be having a color black, and we'll be having a margin top. The margin top will be 5 ps. We'll be having a border radius. The border radius will be giving 6 ps to it, and we'll be giving the border color which is green, and we'll be also give a background color. The background color should be transparent, and it should be having also the letter spacing 2 ps. So now we are going to put it over. So we just put a BTN add over. So for that we'll just be having the background color which will be green. Sorry, it will be green, and we'll be having a color white, and a cursor pointer. So that is it, and now we'll be working on our icon, which will be the user icon, which will be admin high. We'll just be giving a font size of 30 ps, and we'll just give a dot. We now use our dot login container, our class login container, and you'll be putting a display flex, and we'll be doing the flex direction colon, and align item center. So that is it. And right after that we'll be having a form. We'll be taking our form. In the form we'll be having a display flex, and we'll be having the flex direction colon. We'll be having align item center. Padding 10 ps, 20 ps, and margin 5 ps, and border 2 ps, solid green, and we're having the border radius 5 ps. Dot new account A, new account A. The color will be green, and now we have a text decoration, and we just put an underline to it. And the last thing we are going to put now is I think that's all. So if we click okay, we are having a little challenge here. I mean, like we haven't given a height to it. So let's check our form. Not the form. Let's check from our HTML document where the problem is. I think it's about the login. Let me see. Okay, as I told you, we haven't give a height to it. Just after giving the flash direction colon, you have to apply to it the justify content center, and we'll be having the height of 85 feet. So I think now it's working. Is why it's not responding. Okay guys, I have put container. It's supposed to be container, so supposed to be here a container. Is why it's not responding. Now it's working, guys. So guys, that is it. We have finished our CSS part. So it's the same thing like what we're having here. So that is it. And okay guys, the first thing we are going to do now, we are going to work on our ID btn add administrator, because when we hit on that button, we want it to direct us to admin login html.html. We haven't created that page yet. We are going to do it. So I'm just going to do I have set my script tags. So inside that script tag, I will just going to put document dot get element by ID, and we'll be taking our btn add, sorry, let me turn on the copilot. So that is what you are going to do now, and right after that you'll be adding an event listener, and that event listener will be having click, and we will be putting it, and we will be using windows dot location, and we'll be giving to that location the dot window. Okay, sorry, here is supposed to have it, and you'll be giving to that location admin login .html. So to show you how it will look like, we just quickly create that file, that HTML file, which will be add login.html. So that is it. So we are having our page here. So let's just write something here. Welcome. Sorry, what have I? 1 minute guys, I have done a mistake. So we just hit in here, we just put welcome to the admin section. So let's now go to our document. I'm loading the page. So wow, I have it. Okay, let me run again the server. I think the server, not this one. 1 minute guys. Okay, so let me run the server, and okay guys, so that is it. So let me see now if I hit the, okay guys, we can see that now when I hit the button, let me go back again. When I hit the administrator button, it will direct us to the page we just created, which is welcome to the administrator section. So that is it. So is what we want. So let's go back. So that is it. So right after that, we are just, what are we going to do now? We are going to copy and paste our module from our register HTML HTML file. So is what we are going to do now. So we just copy it and we will apply some few changes to it, just to here. Okay, so we copy and we just come to our login, and here we paste it, and from here we make some few changes. We will just delete all this one and we set a new one to it. So that is it, guys. So we went to copy our module, our script type module from our register HTML, and we paste it inside our login HTML file, and from there we are going now to apply some few changes to it. So we can do what we want, like we can have the result we are expecting. So first thing we are going to do here is we are going now to set as, we are going to put the references. So we just type reference, and we just put inside a reference, we'll be having a constant user name, which will be equal to document dot get element by ID, and we'll be putting our user input. So that is it. So let's check if it's okay, if what we are doing. Okay, that is it. So we'll be now doing the same thing with const pass, which will equal to document dot get element by ID, and we'll be hitting the pass input, and the next one will be the const submit, and the const submit will be putting a document dot get element by ID, and we'll be having sub etn. So that is it, guys. And now what are we going to do? We are going straight to our authentication. So we set here and we put it, we'll put authentication, and process, and we close. So right under that, what are we going to do? We are going to set a function. The function will be having authentication. The function name will be authentication, or we will put authenticate user. So that function will be having, first we'll be setting a const d ref, which will be equal to the reference, which will be having a db as an argument, and that db2 is the db we are having at the top here, which is equal to the get database. So right after that, what are we going to do? We are going to use the get function, and inside the get function you'll be using a child function too, and that child function will be having argument like the db ref, and the folder we want. So we type the folder name here, the one inside our database, the one we have set already inside our database, which is holding the user name. And so from there you'll be saying we'll be adding our username dot value, and now we'll be using a then promise, and it's very important that then promise will be holding a snapshot. So the snapshot I told you last time that it helped to locate is a reference to a specific location. So we'll be using that snapshot right, I say snapshot a snapshot to go and check if the user name exists inside our database, if our user name exists. So it's why we are using the snapshot. So from there it will be equal to this. So we'll be using an if condition. The if condition will be doing if snapshot dot exists if it exists, let we will be setting a variable let pass, which will be equal to the snapshot dot value password. So that is it. And if the db the variable db pass equal is equal to the snapshot of value password, then you will be passing another you will be using another if. You will be using a if condition, which will check if the db pass, which is holding the password inside our database, is equal to the password is equal to the pass value, the password which has been entered by the user for authentication. So let me break it down. We are using first of all a get function and child, and we can use a snapshot. The snapshot I told you will help us to locate, look at a reference of a specific location. So we are using the snapshot to check if the value which has been entered, the name which has been entered by the user and our login page, if it exists, then we does what we put a variable, we set a variable db pass, which is equal, which will be equal to the password of that user inside our database. So now we use another if condition to say if that variable that we have set, which is holding the password of the user inside our database, is equal to the password that user is typing, is entering inside our login page. If it's equal to that, then what will be happening, we'll be allow him to have access to our software page. So we haven't set that software page yet, but we are going to set it right now. So we'll be doing .html. So we haven't set it, but we will set it right now. And else, we'll be using an else condition. Else alert, we are going to alert that the user doesn't exist if those conditions, if all the condition above has not been respected. If all the condition above, the one we have set, is not valid, it means like the user doesn't exist. So we just said the user does not exist. And if now we are going to set the for the first one, if else say F, sorry, if S, because you can see that we are having, sorry, I think I'm making a mistake. Okay, it's supposed to be here. Else. Okay, so now if the username exists and still if there is a mistake inside the username or the password is not valid, we are going to set an alert to it to say username or password is invalid. So that is it. So the first condition is if the username exists. If it doesn't exist, if it exists, we are having those conditions inside which we pass. If not, the else condition, the else will be saying username or password is invalid. So now if the username exists, we'll be having another condition which will be down here, which is the DB pass, which will be, we are saying if it's equal to the value that the user has entered inside the password box, then allow him to go to the software page. So that is it. And the next thing we are going to say, the next thing we are going to do now, now we are going to set a function. We are going to set a function, and that function also is this local storage function. Is a local storage function because we want the user which has been allowed access to the software, we have his name to be appearing at the top of the user icon. So to do that, we are going to use a local storage, and to use the local storage, we just come back, we go down here, and we just put in we just put pass value here, and inside that we'll be having a function. We'll be giving to that function pass value, and we'll be inside that function we'll be having what? You'll be grabbing the variable user, username, value equal to document dot get element by ID, and you'll be having the user input dot value. So that is it. So now we are setting a variable. First we are setting a function pass value, and inside that function we'll be having, inside that function, sorry guys, here so inside that function we'll be having, we set a variable username value equal to document get element by ID user input dot value. So we are just affecting to the username value the value which has been entered inside our name box. So that's what we are doing actually. And right after that we are going to grab our local storage dot set, because we are using set method to put the value inside our local storage. So we are going to set where are we going to do that? We will be putting it inside our boss value folder, and that boss value folder will be holding our user value. So we are just setting the value in the name which has been entered by the user inside the user input. We are grabbing that name, which is the value now, which we are storing. We are storing inside our boss value. So right after that, what are we going to do? No, sorry, it's not supposed to be a condition. So right after that, we are going to do, we are going just to say Windows dot location equal to software dot html. After doing that, we are just telling that the next thing is we are to redirect us to the page, to the software page. So that is it. So after that, the function will return, we stop. So the function will be return false. So that is it. And we are going to grab now that pass function here. We are going to put it here, so that when all the condition has been respected there, it will use that function, the indication inside that function will be applied. So that is it. So we will just use pass value there. So now we are going to do what? The next thing we are going to do now, we are going to assign the event. So it just be assign the events. So to assign, you just use the submit button. Submit dot add event listener, and we will be having click, and we will have authenticate user. So that's all. And now to test if everything is working, let's create our software dot html file. So inside that software dot html, you'll just be writing here welcome. Same. You just type here welcome to the software section. So that's what we are going to do now, and then let's now test if everything is working accordingly to the way we want. Okay guys, okay, before to check, there's a few, I have made some mistakes, so we have to correct it. When we come to the user, it's supposed to be user with X. I haven't put the X, and there's this tool supposed to have an X, and we don't need the Windows location dot software dot location here, because we are already having it inside our pass value function is here, so it will definitely execute. So I think that after that, that's all. And what we are going to do now, we are going to check the name we are having inside our database. So to do that, we will quickly go to Google. We type Google here, and we not necessary, we just type Firebase here, Firebase, and okay guys, before to any checkup, we go to our Firebase. We are going to check Firebase. So we are going to check the name and the password we have installed last time. So we are going to our database to check it, so that people can see clearly that it's working. So to do that, Oh, our database name is FarmTech, so we will click on it and it will take us straight to our database. So we click the build and we go straight to our real-time database. The time that it will load. So it has finished loading. So now you can see that we are having a username Joseph1 and we are having a password Joseph123. So we are going to set the same thing. So back to our login page, we just said Joseph Joseph1 and be hitting, we typing again Joseph123. So we are going to verify if it's right, Joseph123, and we click our submit. So that is it. You can see that as soon as we hit our submit, it will take us straight to the page we have set, which is welcome to the software. So now let's see if when maybe we type Joseph, so the name, the username is wrong, it's supposed to be Joseph1, and we type Joseph123. So you can see that we are having an alert username or the password is invalid. So what we have set is working. So now you can see that it's perfectly working, and thank you guys and see you to the next video. So don't forget also to subscribe to the channel